Prabhuji is mostly involved in preaching services. Prabhuji has served as temple president of ISKCON Kathmandu, and currently Prabhuji is currently in the role of secretary of ISKCON Nepal and regional secretary for ISKCON Thailand. Now, with this fancy term comes lot of responsibilities, because there are almost 58 centers I heard in Nepal, and oversee all of them, and to make plans how to propagate more preaching, or how devotees can be happy. That's the goal, more devotees and happy devotees. So Prabhuji is facilitating all the things there. So today we would like to hear more and more pastimes, whatever Prabhuji would like to share. And at the end, maybe last 5 to 10 minutes, we'll have question answers. So yes, Prabhuji, over to you. Thank you so much for coming today and giving your time to us.
Unmute her.
Yes, you are
so you
unmuted.
Can hear me, Prabhuji?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for having me here to speak something about Guru Maharaj. It's such a privilege, actually, to be able to glorify his own Guru. I mean, it's such a wonderful thing. And it's such a wonderful to have all of you here. So definitely this will be a nice evening, right? And of course, everyone knows who Guru Maharaj is. I don't have to really talk about him. Every one of us, we have certain different experiences with him. We have seen his devotional service, his dedication, his purity, his dedication towards his guru, Srila Prabhupada. So it's very obvious, such a soul is there, and then we are very fortunate to be his follower, disciples, and this is such a wonderful thing. So there are quite a few experiences I have had with Guru Maharaj. I had lots of wonderful moments, and of course difficult moments also. So I know Guru Maharaj since around 2002. Now, I've known him since first time I saw him was 2002, and of course before the stroke, the tall American, with a white body, white body, and then very charismatic, very charismatic. And then when I saw him for the first time, it was very deep, and then everyone surrounding him, he loved everyone and everyone loved him. That's what I saw. So that time I was in in-laws, my in-laws' place, and then my father-in-law was a disciple of him. So he invited him to the house, and that time I was not a devotee yet. So I was invited to that house, and then and I was looking at him and I was thinking, wow, white-skinned guy, sadhu, sannyasi. So I was kind of being in Nepal, and I've seen lots of sadhus. I mean, Indian sadhus and Nepalese sadhus, but then never seen a foreigner. I mean, white body Westerners as a sadhu. So I was kind of a little amazed at that time, and of course I was little bit. I was in my heart there was quite a few negative things also going on. I mean, how can this Westerner become a sadhu, and then this is all, kind of a, what do you call, notanki drama? It's I was thinking like that, and of course, me being a science student, educated in science, I never believed in spirituality and religion before. I was pakka atheist at that time. I was drinking, I was eating meat, I was doing all sorts of nonsense, at that time. So there was no point for me to believe in all these kind of things, So all of a sudden, I was called by my going-to-be father-in-law that time. He said, come here, take some Mahaprasad. And then, what was that Mahaprasad? No, uchi stuff, Guru Maharaj, jutha, I mean. So then I was thinking, oh my God, I have to eat that jutha of this man, this Westerner? No way, I would not take from anybody. I mean, I would hesitate. So I was kind of hesitating, and I was trying to make excuses. But then my father-in-law was kind of insisting, you know. So he must have known, I mean, if I eat like Uchista, you know, of Guru Maharaj, definitely I'll change. He must be very worried for his daughter, you know. So going to be son-in-law has to be devotee. So like that. And अगाडिको camera गर्नु पर्दो रहेछ ल. And then you know, so I was given a little bit prasadam, which is stuff Guru Maharaj, and I was like kind of hesitating. Nah, who is this guy? I'm supposed to eat his juta, you know, what is this? But anyway, forcefully I took it. I took it. I didn't know that, you know, like it's going to change my life like that, you know. So of course, like then the next time I met him, I was like already engaged, and again in the same house, you know, my in-laws' house. You know, I was invited, and then this time I was more comfortable with him because this was the second time I was like, sorry, this was the second time I was seeing him, and of course this time I was like talking to him, and I was asking quite a lot of questions. And at the end of the conversation, as Guru Maharaj was leaving for the airport, he said like, Rupesh Prabhu, I'm going to a Middle East country, and it's pretty cold season, and I don't have any sweater. Would you like to buy me one? So I thought like, okay, that I can do, no problem. You know, so I went to the place called Tamil, where like I mean, the special XXXL, you know, like extra large, you know, clothes are like found because Guru Maharaj, like he's a huge guy, you know. I mean, for an average Nepali person, he's too big, you know. So that's where lots of foreigners are like visiting. So me and my, you know, wife, we went there, and then we found like a nice saffron color sweater, you know, big one. So I brought like that, and then Guru Maharaj said, no. You should bring me some other color because I'm going to a Muslim country, and then this saffron is not supposed to, you know, I'm not supposed to wear saffron. So is it possible? So then I said, okay, we'll go back and then get it exchanged, you know. Then Guru Maharaj said, can I come with you? Then I said, well, okay, no problem. So we went to the shop. You know, it was kind of quite a big shop, and then you know, when we asked for the different color, the lady there said that it's upstairs in the store, and there are more options there if you would like to come up there. So I went up there, you know, and then Guru Maharaj, he was like climbing up the stairs, and he was acting like as if he couldn't climb, you know. So he wanted me to push. So I was pushing, and then I was like thinking, wow, I mean, sannyasi who is like very jolly, very humorous, you know, I mean, wow, I mean, cool. I already like felt he very friendly with him, you know. So we went up there. There were lots of sweaters, you know. He chose one, and then after he finished choosing, he said, "Have you ever wrestled in your life? Do you know wrestling?" Then I said, well, I watch WWF and all, but I have not got the opportunity. Come, let's wrestle, you and me. I said, really? Are you sure? So he started like grabbing me, and then he just threw me. I mean, threw me like, I mean, to the bulk of this woolen thing, you know. So I just like fell off on that part. And then Guru Maharaj was really strong, you know. I couldn't like move him. So I was like, I mean, I was feeling, wow, what a friendly guy, friendly person. So I was like very friendly. He was laughing. We were cracking jokes, you know. And as he was leaving to the airport, and he just grabbed my hand and then caught my hand and say, Rupesh Prabhu, would you like to come to Mayapur? So in April, I mean, soon there is my Vyas Puja, so I would like to invite you there. I said, okay, I'll try to come. Okay. So I was not serious, you know. So I didn't know what Vyas Puja was. I didn't know what Mayapur was, you know. So like that, I mean, of course, no, I knew Mayapur. I went to Mayapur in 2002. So I said, okay, if possible, I will come. But I was not serious. And then in April, I didn't go. I didn't go because I didn't know the value. Right. So, but then later on, in 2004, after we got married, you know, I met like Patri Prabhu, and with Patri Prabhu, I got convinced in Krishna consciousness, you know, he changed me, shoop, 180-degree change shift, right? So then Then we were like staying in Bangkok. I studied there and worked there in Bangkok. So we were there. And then as we went there, we thought, why don't we invite Guru Maharaj there? You know, so I slowly started like getting into bhakti, you know, started chanting and all. So we had an idea, like we heard that Guru Maharaj is traveling a lot, so why don't we invite him there? So when we invited him there, you know, he came. He came, you know, he was on the way to some other place, you know, just for 2 days he came. And he stayed at our place, small house, small town house, you know. So then I realized he was such a simple person, you know. I mean, our bedroom was like mostly kind of like a student kind of bedroom. You know, of course, like we had like very clean bed sheets and everything for Guru Maharaj. And he was there, you know, very simple. And then we were cooking, and then we are having lots of fun. Lots of devotees came to visit him, you know, see him, take his darshan. So it was like kind of like a wow moment, you know. So then at one point, you know, when me and my wife were like there with Guru Maharaj in the room, so he said like, how is, looking at my wife, he says, how are you, my spiritual daughter? You know, so Sucharu, you know, my wife, she said like, what? What, Guru Maharaj? What did you say? He said, how are you, my spiritual daughter? Uh, what, Guru Maharaj? Again, please. And she said, how are you, my spiritual daughter? And then I said, hey, Guru Maharaj is, that time I said, like, Maharaj is saying, how are you, spiritual daughter? Didn't you understand? I said, I understood, but I wanted to hear again and again, you know, so from Guru Maharaj's mouth. So as he was saying that, I was thinking, my wife is his spiritual daughter, so I'm his spiritual son-in-law. So I was already connecting with Guru Maharaj, you know, that time. So then, of course, we had a talk about like initiation, and then Guru Maharaj, of course, like you know, he allowed us to be initiated by him. Then he said, you can take shelter, and then in Gaur Purnima, I can initiate you. So we did that. You know, my initiation thing happened really quick. So I joined in 2004, and 2005 March, I was already initiated by Guru Maharaj. You know, lucky, right? So like that, that's how I started like associating with Guru Maharaj. And there are like lots of incidents, I mean, big and small, interesting, and then, you know, like got scolded many times, you know. So like that. But then what I learned from Guru Maharaj is like he's a fighter. He's a fighter, and he's always like pushing himself, you know, to go ahead. He's always kind. He was always giving time to others. This is amazing. I mean, this personality, you know, like is very, very unique. You know, I have met like quite a lot of like senior devotees in ISKCON, and there are very few like Guru Maharaj, you know, who is like extraordinary, I would say, you know, in many ways, you know. Of course, like, I mean, for every disciple, his or her Guru Maharaj is always like extraordinary. But then still, when I mean, had seen him, you know, like going through all these like things, you know, it's like extraordinary. You know, like, for example, I mean, we had lots of problem. I mean, leading in Bangkok, you know, there was, you know, I mean, in ISKCON, you know, as soon as you become leader or manager, you know, you are in trouble. Like Badrinaran Maharaj, he told this like joke, right? The donkey who never says yes, who never says no, right? And then, of course, one devotee went and whispered, would you like to be temple president of ISKCON? And donkey said, no, no, no. It's a very tough job, you know. But and then we had like a hard time, so we went to Guru Maharaj to complain, you know, when he came. He's GBC for Thailand also. So we said like, Guru Maharaj, like, I mean, we have never been appreciated. You know, we do lots of work, and then they don't appreciate us. So what to do? You know, and then we were complaining literally about devotees, you know, against devotees. So then Guru Maharaj says, well, you know, you are a leader. You're a leader. And leader means if other devotees carry one bucket of water, you have to carry 2 buckets of water. Leader means you have to work double. You know, you have to work double. That's how you're supposed to, you know, serve. You know, so there's no point of complaining. So the whole concept of like you know, suffering, I mean, getting burdened with like all this seva, they are like, I mean, disappeared, you know. So Guru Maharaj said, yeah, I mean, that's the nature of a leader. Leader always works like double or more than that, you know. So these kind of lessons, like Guru Maharaj was like telling, and many times he would come, he would always like want to give some time to devotees, you know, and it doesn't matter what kind of person is coming in front of him, no matter is like a big, really, I mean, important person, or just a simple guy from the neighbor, you know. He's always giving quality time to them, you know. So, and then trying to give them blessings, and then, you know, all these kind of things. So of course, like I remember one incident with Guru Maharaj that one time some devotees, I mean, we were new, I mean, just initiated, we were new, we didn't know much about like devotional service. So one of the devotee came and then told us, you know, did you guys get personal instruction from Guru Maharaj? Then we said, what is personal instruction? You know, we've never heard of that, you know. He said like, he said, yeah, we chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative. And he said, that's general. That's general. That's for everybody. Did Guru Maharaj give any specific instruction to you? You know, any particular, any individual, any personal? I said, no, we didn't. We never got that. So he said, better ask one from him. So next time Guru Maharaj came, I remember that it was like staying in one of the devotees' house. We were serving, and then just after the prasadam, he took shower and he was going to take rest. So me and my wife, we went into the room, and then we said, Guru Maharaj, he was sitting on the sofa, and then we were sitting on the floor, and then said, Guru Maharaj, can we request you one thing? Yeah, what? We want personal instructions. And Guru Maharaj said, what? What instruction? He said, personal instructions. What is that? I don't know, Guru Maharaj. Somebody said that I need personal instruction. I said, chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulatory principle, and then help me in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. That's the instruction. Yeah, Guru Maharaj, that's general instruction, but what is the personal instruction? And he said, no, there's no personal instruction. You know, but okay, you guys want personal instruction? Fine. You know, let me give you personal instruction. And I'll not give you 1, I'll give you 5, he said. So I was like kind of, woo, 5, I mean, wonderful. So he said, instruction number 1, listen carefully. He said, always be connected with me. So as soon as Guru Maharaj said that, I said, how, Guru Maharaj, through email or through phone? You fool! How can you be like connected with me through phone or email like 24 hours? I want you to be 24 hours connected with me. So I was thinking, how is it possible? How is it possible? And then I said, Guru Maharaj, how is it possible? And Guru Maharaj said, well, I'm always connected to Srila Prabhupada, 24 hours, you know, always connected to. Whenever I have any problem, I would contact Srila Prabhupada and he would give me solutions. You know, I am always 24 hours talking to you. About the phone actually, Karan. And so I'm always 24 hours connecting to you, you know, and then like, I mean, I want you to be 24 hours connected to, you know, me. And I'm always talking to you. But then, you fool, you are like impure. That's why you cannot hear me. I want you to become pure so that you can always like listen to me, always be connected with me. So as he was saying that, I was thinking, oh my God, I shouldn't have asked. I mean, what is this? This is too much. This is too much, you know. So of course, you know, then I understood that, wow, in bhakti there is like purity, and purity means like, I mean, you know, being connected eternally to the divine energy, you know, the pure souls, you know, and then Paramatma through Paramatma and all these kind of things. You know, I was like kind of understanding at that point. And of course, like the remaining 4 were like more simpler. Whenever I'm physically present, you know, you serve me, you know, you should always take disciples of other gurus as your god brothers, you know, and all these kind of like, others were like simpler, but then the first one was kind of mind-blowing, you know. So then of course, like that also gave me the feeling that yes, no, I have to struggle, I have to work hard to become pure. And Guru Maharaj, like, I mean, he does that. I mean, he is really, I mean connected to Srila Prabhupada. I've I felt, I mean, many times he would come to Bangkok. I would serve him personally, and then, in many whiles, like he would talk about Srila Prabhupada. Any incident, any situation, comes, and then he's always like thinking, how would Srila Prabhupada solve it, do it? He would always quote. He's very careful. I mean, that each and every moment, like he's very concerned about like how would Srila Prabhupada do it, and then of course, like he told me again, another time also, he told me that let me ask Srila Prabhupada and see, what he wants. So of course, like I mean, then I could feel that yes, that the connection between disciple and guru is very, very important. Very, very important, to the extent that even though they are not physically present, that connection has to remain. I mean, and that's only possible when we become pure, and then when we are in spiritual platform, then only it's possible. Or else, like, I mean, as long as we are material, then it's only the physical possibility which makes us like together. That's called Bapu. So like that, and there are many other times also. One time I heard like a story from one brahmachari from Malaysia, Shanti Prabhu, and then he was telling and how Guru Maharaj, he is like he has mystical powers. So we were talking about that, and he was like telling us about his experience that he got initiated, and then he thought like, oh, let me go and meet Guru Maharaj. It's been a year. Let's go and meet. So when he went there in Gaur Purnima, of course, like he's always surrounded by people, 50, 60 people always there. So he thought like, no hope. It's very difficult to go close to Guru Maharaj. So, but then I want to go and talk to Guru Maharaj. So then he realized that Guru Maharaj was going to parikrama. So in parikrama, as he was walking along with the others and the other sannyasis, other gurus, other senior devotees, he saw that someone who is carrying this tulsi, they are like walking very close to Guru Maharaj. So he just grabbed one tulsi and then started carrying on his head, and then started walking nearby Guru Maharaj. But then that day, Guru Maharaj didn't even look at him. So he thought like, okay, Guru Maharaj is busy, fine. I mean, no problem. So next day again, phew, on the head, and then he was going, and then as he was going, Guru Maharaj looked at him, and then didn't make any kind of like a gesture, physical gesture, and then or didn't respond to him. I mean, and he felt kind of bad, but then again he thought like, okay, it's Guru Maharaj. So third day he tried, no chance. Guru Maharaj didn't speak to him, didn't give any kind of sign. So he was thinking, well, this is too bad. Maybe Guru Maharaj doesn't remember me, or he doesn't like, he gives a damn to me. I mean, this is too much. I mean, why did I come to even? Why did I even come to Mayapur? This is not good. This is, I think I should go back. So he walked quickly and then sat in the next temple they were reaching. So put the tulsi down, and then he was thinking, at least Guru Maharaj would have said, how are you? That would have been enough. At least like look at me and say, how are you? That'll be fine. He was thinking like that. Then he saw Guru Maharaj coming, of course, like many people on the side. So as he was coming, he was thinking, the person is like amazing. He's like charismatic, and then all these kind of things he was thinking. And Guru Maharaj coming near and near and near. He just came right in front and stood in front of him and said, how are you? Happy? He said that. So when Guru Maharaj said that, he was like kind of shocked, because he told nobody. It was just like in his heart, like he was thinking that, you know, Guru Maharaj could have said, how are you? So then after hearing that, after hearing this incident, I felt like very scared to go in front of Guru Maharaj, thinking that, he can read mind. I mean, oh my God, there's so many nonsense going on in mind, many times, So I was like kind of reluctant, of course, like, I mean, and many times when I used to ask question to Guru Maharaj, many times he would like look at my eyes and then not speak for 30 seconds, 1 minute, like, and I could feel that he's going through my eyes, going to my heart, does something, and then he comes back and then he answers, So many times he would do that. right? So this kind of like, experiences are there. And other times, he's a very simple person, very simple person. He's such a jolly person. He always made us like feel, you know, easy, simple, and then of course like very close, very intimate, and I know like there are like lots of gurus in ISKCON, and then even for disciples to reach the gurus is very difficult. It's very difficult. It's just like one time in initiation and that's it. But for Guru Maharaj, anybody who is willing to go close to Guru Maharaj, he allows. He allows, It's like that's very strange. I mean, Guru Maharaj having like thousands of, tens of thousands of like disciples, and still Guru Maharaj is willing to, give time to each and everybody. Is like it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, of course, like definitely we also need to do like something special for Guru. We have to offer. Then it becomes like very obvious for Guru to remember us, to bless us. That's also there, and like that. I mean, Guru Maharaj is like always dedicating his life for others. He thinks about himself the least. In Coimbatore, I was traveling with Guru Maharaj. That was the first time in India I was like traveling, serving Guru Maharaj. And in Coimbatore, after the stroke, of course, like, so I was like serving him, and then he used to do exercise, and lots of exercises. And as he was doing exercise, his body was paining like anything, and he would scream in sometimes, ah! So I would ask, like, what happened, Guru Maharaj? And he would say, like, it's so painful. It's so painful. Then I told him, why are you doing this, Guru Maharaj? Don't do it. If it is so painful, don't stop. Don't do it. You don't have to. Why are you struggling so much? And he said, I'm not struggling for myself. He says, I want to become healthy so that my disciples, my well-wishers are happy. So Guru Maharaj said, when I raise my hand, even when I raise my hand and show them that I'm fit and fine and healthy, and then devotees become so happy. And for that reason, just to raise the hand, up to give solace, to give like comfort to the disciples and other devotees, well wishers. He's working so hard. If I was in his place, and I would have sat like, first of all, I would not survive. After that stroke and all. But even if I did, I would not make that endeavor, of course. And then of course I was also telling Guru Maharaj, you should stop traveling. It's so difficult for you. Then he said, no, no, no. My disciples are waiting. My disciples are waiting. Then I said, they could come to Mayapur. At least once a year, they could come to Mayapur to meet you. You should not travel because it's too difficult for you. And he said, many of my disciples, they cannot afford to come to Mayapur. They cannot afford to come and meet me. So better I go to their place. So humble, so down to earth, like, caring for people, caring for devotees, caring for disciples, such a person, who doesn't think about himself much, and in Mayapur also, when I was serving him, like he has this program, online program. Every evening he would go to certain yatras, in that online show, I would say, like visit or darshan Guru Maharaj would give, devotees, assistants, they are like very wonderful. They are taking care of Guru Maharaj like anything. They would say, Guru Maharaj, time to sleep. Okay, enough. And I said, no, 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 I want more, more. So many disciples there, so many devotees waiting, and then he wants to give more and more, like cutting off his like sleeping time, and with that, like, like defective body, he needs like good rest, and he doesn't care for that, and then it's amazing. How a person can go to that limit, that age, that discomfort, and all these like physical disadvantages, and still he's going on, right? And then his memory is so sharp. Memory is so sharp, And then last time in Mayapur, as I was serving, after the shower, he just came out and he said, I I think you still don't have a child, right? And yes, Guru Maharaj, do you remember? I said, yes. How is your wife? Is she happy? Is it okay? you know, because women, they love kids. And I said, no, no, Guru Maharaj, I mean, I'm getting old already now. We don't have any plan. And no, you should try. You should go ahead. No, I mean, it's been like years, more than 10 years. I mean, we have not talked about this. And then still Guru Maharaj remembers and he's noticing. He's noticing. Means like he's very much concerned, you know, about each and everybody around. And that has happened to many of the devotees, many of the disciples. I mean, he would remember even the smallest thing, even it's like a trivial, like superficial thing about life, which is not so important, you know. And he's still talking about that. He still remembers. And it's very personal. It's very personal. And then of course, like, I mean, as I am in management, you know, of course, like, I mean, there, and he's the GBC for Nepal, you know, they are like many times managerially, I would not agree with him, and it's very difficult moment, you know, to be able to present different idea than your guru, you know, who is like the GBC General Secretary, you know, it's very odd situation, you know. So one time there was one kind of decision he was going to make. And I personally felt that it was not in favor to many situation in Nepal, you know. So some of the devotees like gave like kind of a wrong information to him, and based on that he was going to make certain decisions. So I still remember it was in VIP lounge at the airport. Um, the one devotee was feeding him, you know, and then I was like talking to him about the management, and then Guru Maharaj said, okay, in Nepal we are going to do like this. So I said, like, Guru Maharaj, no, that's a very wrong decision. You cannot do like that. If you do that, I mean, it's going to cause lots of trouble, lots of problems. So I was kind of like kind of opposing. Of course, I'm telling you in a very sweet word, I mean, sweet tone now. That time it was kind of a heated discussion type, you know, because it was like kind of a really, I mean, stressful thing. And then as I was like talking to Guru Maharaj, that devotee who was feeding Guru Maharaj was saying, hey, how dare you talk to Guru Maharaj like this? You know, he said like that. So I was kind of, uh-oh, he's right. But then at the same time, you know, it's a managerial thing. So I said, Guru Maharaj, you know, am I offending you? Because you are playing two roles, and I'm also playing two roles. You know, you are Guru and you are Zonal Secretary. And I'm your disciple, and I'm also like secretary for Nepal. You know, so uh, at this moment, I'm talking to you in a managerial terms. So, Guru Maharaj, if you think that you are Guru at this time and I'm your disciple, I don't have any argument. You know, according to Shastra, there is no way, you know, I can like even raise even my head to Guru and what to talk about his decision, you know. So there's no point. But as you are Zonal Secretary, I think being Secretary of Nepal, Executive Secretary of Nepal, I have rights to present you the situation, isn't it? So Guru Maharaj, what are you now? And he looked at both of us, you know, in the eyes, and he said, I'm Zonal Secretary, you can go ahead. You know, so yeah, wow. Guru Maharaj also understands, you know, like, and he could also like separate this managerial and guru thing, which very few devotees they know how to do it. And generally, most of the time, like we are like mixing all these kind of things. So Guru Maharaj, like, I mean, he is very smart, very particular, you know, very last time also in Mayapur also, like, you know, when I had like kind of a hot discussion with him, you know, and of course like I proved certain points, and he said, okay, this time you win. So Mahavara Prabhu was telling me, you know, Guru Maharaj would like do lots of discussion for good. You know, he would discuss, he would like to hear like logical things, you know, he would like to hear about solutions, not only problems. So, and then he would put his like idea till the end. You know, he will go on. And then he expects the other devotee also like to stick with the idea, whatever good idea comes. And once the decision is made, even though it's not in his favor, once the decision is made, Guru Maharaj would accept that, you know, once the decision is made. So it's a very good quality as a manager, actually. You know, so this is such a wonderful thing. And then next time also, we had like kind of a discussion, me and Guru Maharaj, and then that time Guru Maharaj really convinced me. So I said, oh yeah, Guru Maharaj, I'm convinced. And he said, oh, I won. This time I won. So yeah, Guru Maharaj, you won. So like that, I mean, he's such a dynamic person. He's such a wonderful, I mean, Guru. He's such a wonderful GBC, in many ways, Of course, like now after his stroke, I mean, he has lots of limitations. Because of that, there are like lots of things like slowed down. Of course, but then his thought, his way of thinking, his way of doing things is very unique. And then it's fantastic. It's completely extraordinary. So, well, there are like lots of big and small, good and bad, experiences I had with Guru Maharaj. And then, of course, like when I hear from other devotees also, it's very, very unique, very, very special. And I feel myself very fortunate to be his disciple. And of course, like in my case, I didn't choose my guru. Generally, people they have lots of hard time, trying to find out from whom they should get like initiated. For me, it was easy. I mean, my wife, he was already connected to Guru Maharaj since her birth. So she was very close to him, and then when I also got chance to go close to him, yeah, it was like very obvious. And then Guru Maharaj proposed. I mean, uh, what do you think about initiation? And then I was like, wow, I mean, somebody comes, I mean, somebody special comes, and then, like offers me. But then some of the people also take it like in a wrong way, in a different way. I've heard like from many senior devotees that they are saying that, oh, Jayapataka Swami is advertising himself. No, I wouldn't say that it's advertising. It's like a natural compassion, natural mercy coming from a pure soul, who is like offering to take voluntarily take their karma, take their, like wrong thing, bad things, voluntarily make them disciple, and then give them opportunity to like practice Krishna consciousness. Yeah, that's the eagerness of every devotee to accept like others, so this is very important. But then many times, like people have taken it like wrongly, and saying that like he's advertising, and then it's not allowed in ISKCON, something like that. But then of course, like he has never forced, I've never seen him forced anyone to take initiation from him. I would say, he would give opportunity, to take his blessings. That's what I've seen. That's what I've seen. And then yes, Guru Maharaj has that capacity to bless people. He does. I mean, uh, like Guru Maharaj made me, he allowed me to give shelter on his behalf, in Nepal. And then, so first time, there were like few devotees who wants to take shelter from Guru Maharaj. So through me, I was the one who was like on his behalf doing everything. So they filled up the form, and then I thought like I need to relate everything to Guru Maharaj, and then ask like, okay, this kind of devotees are there, who wants to take initiation. So I think I should tell Guru Maharaj. Thinking like that, I called Guru Maharaj and then started presenting. This person's name is this. He has chanted for this many years, like that. And I started like giving the details. And then at one point, Guru Maharaj said, "You don't need to call me. You just give shelter. If they fulfill all the requirements, and if you are confident on them, you just give shelter. And as you give shelter, I already know them." And I already feel connected with them. Just go ahead. You don't need to contact me. That's what Guru Maharaj said. I was like, kind of, wow. Wow. I mean, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So like that, I mean, he is like, I mean, there. He's a well-wisher. But then I think in ISKCON or outside also, there are like lots of envious people. They think like it's the other way around. But then he's like, that's his kind, compassionate nature, which is allowing him And then, of course, like I've also heard that like Srila Prabhupada has given him special blessings regarding this kind of things, you know. So like that. I mean, I still remember. I mean, in Bangkok when he came, you know, I was kind of naughty, kind of really naughty. I mean, I would go. I mean, once I go intimate, I would like feel very intimate with anybody, and with Guru Maharaj also. So now I would ask like any type of question to Guru Maharaj. And one time I asked him, you know, Guru Maharaj, like, do you have mystic power? You know, siddhis, like Sai Baba or somebody, you know, because if you show these kind of siddhis, you know, there will be so many people coming to ISKCON. Look, Guru Maharaj, like in ISKCON, not a lot of people are coming. So can you show some siddhi? You have some siddhi? And he just looked at my face and then didn't talk after that. So he didn't speak, you know. So I thought like, oh my God, I shouldn't have asked that question, you know. Maybe Guru Maharaj didn't have any kind of siddhi. You know, I insulted him by asking that question because he doesn't have now, uh, such a boring stuff, you know. I mean, I shouldn't have. And other devotees were also like scolding me, you know, like I shouldn't have asked that question. And then after about a minute, you know, he started speaking, you know. He said, once I was in Mayapur, then I came to Calcutta. So as I reached Calcutta, there was a phone call from Mayapur, and they said, Jayapataka Swami, it's emergency, you have to come. Please come immediately, immediately, immediately. Please come, there is emergency. And he said, I reached there in 10 minutes. So I said, did you fly by helicopter? I was like thinking, I mean, that is the fastest way to reach Mayapur is by flying by helicopter. I mean, in my sense, you know, because there is no airport by flying by plane, and then the road would take 4-5 hours, you know. So the only way is the helicopter. And then Guru Maharaj said, "You fool! You want to take helicopter, you have to go to airport, and it takes time and an arrangement. So how did you reach in 10 minutes?" He said, "I flew. I flew." Then I was like shocked. Then I was silent. Oh my God, you know, really? And then he continued. He said that, yeah, devotees, they do have mystic power. And we use that mystic power to serve Krishna whenever required, however required. But then we don't show that in public. You know, we don't use it for like some simple stuffs. People, I mean, they come with their trivial problems. You know, they would not come. I mean, they will not show. The pure devotees, they will not show. But whenever it is required to like serve, you know, Guru and Krishna, you know, they would use it. Right? So in that way, I mean, of course, like, I mean, Guru Maharaj is amazing. And then you must have heard from like other devotees, I mean, so many like mystical things, you know, Guru Maharaj would do. Just like one of the senior devotee, he was telling us about Guru Maharaj. And then, you know, he was, just before this kidney transplant, he was like in not good shape, you know, that time, you know, it was like almost kind of he was going to leave his body, like kind of thing, you know. And then at that time, there was a devotee, I mean, temple president from uh, this Pundarik Dham, you know, Pundarik Vidyanidhi Dham, you know, came to meet Guru Maharaj. So, and then Guru Maharaj told him, you know, why are you not like changing water in the room? You know, there's Guru Maharaj's room in that temple. And then Guru Maharaj was asking, why are you not changing? It's been 15 days, you have not changed the water. You're not giving me fresh water. You know, so then of course temple president, when he inquired at the temple, you know, if they have not changed the water in the room where Guru Maharaj stays, and they agreed, yes, it's been quite a long time, they have not changed the water. You know, and then Guru Maharaj like staying that time, I think he was in Chennai, you know. He was there, and then he would know, I mean, whatever is going in that part, you know. So this kind of like, of course, like we are not interested in siddhis, of course, you know, mystical powers. We are like devotees. We are more concerned about devotional service. But then, of course, like these are like kind of very fascinating things, you know, for like a materialistic mentality like mine, you know. It's like kind of wow. I mean, There is something there, And then I remember like Srila Prabhupada saying these mystical powers, they are like um, byproducts of devotional service. So which is true. I mean, this kind of incidents, this kind of like things, it proves that yes, bhakti is like really, really amazing. I still remember I was reading this book on Kundalini Jagaran. So I mean, since my childhood, I was like very interested in you know, sorry. Since my childhood, I was very interested in this Kundalini Jagaran thing. I mean, being a yogi, I was like more interested. Of course, like after reading Srila Prabhupada books, I was convinced that we have to become a preacher. Then there's Ghoshyanandi, and then I was more interested later on in this side, right? Then at that point, when I was reading the book on Kundalini Jagaran, so the whole process, of course, like this chakras and all these kind of things. And this person who is the author, who is not devotee, he was writing this book, and at the end, in the conclusion, he would write, there are two ways you can raise the Kundalini. One is by meditation, by the practice of meditation, Kundalini Jagaran, is possible, and second is by Bhakti Yoga. So when I read that, by Bhakti Yoga, the Kundalini rises up, then I just closed the book and said, that's it. That's it. So that's how like bhakti is so powerful that anything else, siddhi, mukti, and all this like karma kanda and all this kind of they become like a byproduct of bhakti. So Guru Maharaj is one of the examples, who is setting this bhakti is superior than anything else, right? And then Guru Maharaj's involvement in many places, he's always talking about integration, integrating all the ISKCON in the world, integrating all the Hindu, organizations, integrating all the religious organizations. We should come together, even Karmi organization who are doing social service. Guru Maharaj, like they are like, he's always trying to like bring everyone together, and then go for like, some devotional service, and then peace, and then social service, welfare of humanity, and all these kind of things. So it's amazing. This is a quality of a leader. As you grow, you have to become an integrator, as we were taught in GBC college, integrator, and then ultimately then you become a guardian, and he becomes guardian as well. He takes like responsibility of thousands of devotees. So one of the prominent leader of ISKCON, such a wonderful thing. So we can see that Prabhupada had more than 5,000 disciples, out of which maybe 100, 200, they are like dedicated. They are like they have made ISKCON possible. So one of them is like Guru Maharaj, and by his dedication, I mean, we hear like lots of stories, starting from the age of teenage, 18, 19, how he dedicated his life to ISKCON. So that's there. And then, of course, there are lots of like, maybe because he could do that, he could really dedicate his life for Srila Prabhupada, and those who cannot do it to the degree he has done it, I mean, and it's very natural for them to become envious. And I've also met like quite a lot of envious people, the Ritviks, and then disciples of Gaur Govinda Maharaj, like that, who would come to me and then speak negative about Guru Maharaj, which are all like false, I know. So of course, like there are like quite a lot of things, negative things they are like they have told me, and then try to brainwash me against Guru Maharaj. Of course, like I would not like believe them. I would not listen to them. I think I've got enough intelligence to understand who is who. So like that, and I've met like lots of Ritviks, lots of people, I mean, who are envious of Guru Maharaj. And it's very obvious when you become successful in life, they are like good enemies. That's very natural. And then what about Guru Maharaj? How does he feel for them? He has again compassion towards them. I'll give you one example. Like in Bangkok, one of his disciples, became Ritvik. He got convinced by the Ritviks, and he started hating Guru Maharaj. So when we were like taking care of preaching in Bangkok, so he started. I mentioned, Guru Maharaj, there is this disciple of yours who has become Ritvik. I met him. Oh, he's around? Guru Maharaj said, is he around? I said, yeah, he's here. Do you know where he lives? I said, yeah, I know his shop, Guru Maharaj. It's in Samrong in Bangkok. Can you take me to him? But Guru Maharaj, I mean, he doesn't like you. I mean, it's okay. He said, it's okay. So I took him to his shop, and he was there. That devotee was there. As soon as he saw Guru Maharaj, he just went inside in small like worship room, inside the shop. He started chanting very, very like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, not looking at Guru Maharaj. So he started chanting there, and then Guru Maharaj went. He didn't speak anything. He just waited outside of that worship room. So we were also standing. He was standing, and 15 minutes passed. He was chanting. Of course, like with his like side eyes, he was like looking at Guru Maharaj, and then he was chanting more Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, like that. And Guru Maharaj waiting, waiting. He started leaning and then waiting, waiting, and my legs started paining. I thought like Guru Maharaj must be hurt too. So after 1 hour, he's still standing. Guru Maharaj still standing there, and that guy is still chanting, and we were like waiting. So it's too much already. It's too much. So I even said, Guru Maharaj, I think we should go. Wait. He said, wait. So 1.5 hours, Guru Maharaj waiting for that devotee to, talk to Guru Maharaj, or at least like greet him or do something. And that guy didn't do it. Then Guru Maharaj said, okay, I think go now. I think we should go now. And we left. You see that tolerance, you see that patience, you see that compassion towards those who hates him. So I was like my pressure was really high. I mean, it was like not a good situation. So, but then seeing Guru Maharaj's tolerance and forgiveness and whatever, all those good qualities, I was like mesmerized. I was like amazed, by then that really gave me like lots of understanding of what a leadership really means, to what degree we have to like tolerate and forgive and have patience. So like that. So there are like many wonderful things. Of course, like we can go on and on and on, of course. But then I think we are almost like finishing the time. So if any other devotee would like to share anything on this regard about Guru Maharaj, you can go ahead, or if there is any question you'd like to ask, I'll try my best. Thank you, Hemang Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Rosette. Also, Nectarian, especially, wonderful pastimes, which had combination of your personal interactions with Guru Maharaj, as well as, telling about how glorious are our acharyas, that actually they don't show this mystic siddhis just for name fame, but whenever they want, they use it for service of Krishna. And Prabhupada always mentions, right, when it was asked that it's converting hippies to happies, that is one of the, again, a mystic display of, siddhi only, like how Prabhupada converted them. Same way all our spiritual masters are doing it. So thank you for all these pastimes.
Thank
Now,
you.
if any devotees have any questions, they can ask. I will just give permission to unmute. Maybe one by one, devotees can ask. Yes, you have unmute permissions.
Or if you have any comment also, anybody wants to share any good thing about Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
My name is Keshavarada Ramadas from Bangalore. Thank you so much for all the nectarian pastime you have shared, Prabhuji. I was amazed by hearing all the pastimes. So one question I have is like, you are very bold and open and ask many things which is considered as a taboo to ask with Guru Maharaj. So anytime like Guru Maharaj chastised you or scolded you? for such a bold things or any instance like that happened? Could you please tell that, Prabhuji?
For asking him any questions like that?
Or questions or anything like you have done and Guru Maharaj chastised you or
No.
scolded you?
Yeah, when I asked him questions, can it can be anything personal or, you know, he never scolded me. He would try his best to answer it. Just like I remember, I asked him as he was eating prasadam, you know, I was asking, there were like quite a lot of devotees that time. I said, Guru Maharaj, why are you fat? I was like asking because I heard that that some devotees said it's Prabhupada who instructed him to become fat because he's lean and tall and handsome, you know, sannyasi, and then you know, if he becomes fat, then he will become uninteresting to, you know, like women, you know, like that. I heard those kind of stories, and I found it like kind of not proper, you know. So I wanted to ask. I mean, the best person to ask was Guru Maharaj, you know, himself. So I asked him one time, a long time back, Guru Maharaj, why are you so fat? And he looked at me, and then other devotees, shh, 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 they were doing like this. Don't ask, don't ask. So I said, then he very, very simply, I said, because I love eating. He said that, I
Very
love
good.
eating. That's why I'm fat. You know, so and then I said, Guru Maharaj, but I heard the story that Prabhupada told you to become fat. I said, who said that? Guru Maharaj said, who said that? Really? Those kind of stories are there, really? You know, so kind of, I mean, you know, Guru Maharaj would never hesitate, you know, to answer. I mean, any kind of stupid questions also, he would do his best to, I mean, make it Krishna conscious answers, you know, with coming with Krishna conscious answers. And he's very straightforward. Guru Maharaj, he doesn't have privacy, you know. After the stroke in Coimbatore, you know, as we were serving, you know, um, we were in the toilet, in the bathroom, you know, with Guru Maharaj, you know. So he was pooping. I mean, he was passing the stool, and then it was kind of like a really, I mean, smelly, you know. So I was like kind of tolerating, thinking that okay, this is Mahaprasad, this is like, you know, coming from Guru Maharaj, I shouldn't feel bad, you know, no negative. But then of course, like my body, you know, my nose, you know, I couldn't take it. So Guru Maharaj must have like read my face that I'm having difficulty sitting inside the toilet there, smelling really bad, you know. So Guru Maharaj said, I'm very sorry. Guru Maharaj said, I'm very sorry that you have to be here. And then I said, no, no, Guru Maharaj, no, seriously. I mean, of course, I'm having difficulties smelling. It's really smelling bad, but I feel fortunate, Guru Maharaj. Please don't think like that. And you know what Guru Maharaj said? He said, there was only one place where I can be with myself. That was toilet. And that also Krishna took away from me, you know. That's what Guru Maharaj said. So there were like 4, 5 devotees serving him there in the toilet, you know. So like that, I mean, he is very open person, you know. And then maybe because of that openness, he would speak anything. Many of the people, I mean, cannot take his frankness, you know, his real, I mean, he's inside out person, you know, very inside out person. And then when this happens, you know, it's sometimes it's very difficult for us to take him seriously, to respect him after knowing all the like goods and bads, you know. Many times, you know, we are together. Guru Maharaj would ask, "Do you know any jokes? You know, do you know any jokes? You know, like of course, he wants to laugh. He wants to make people laugh. You know, so of course, like we have like lots of, I mean, gala moments with Guru Maharaj, and I would recommend all the devotees, they should go to Guru Maharaj, to Mayapur, to wherever he is. You know, and then take permission from the assistants, and serve Guru Maharaj. Go close to Guru Maharaj. You know, it's such a wonderful feeling. It's such a positive energy we can feel. You know? And many times the scolding I got was mostly from the managerial part. Each time I make mistakes, or you know, I'm becoming over smart. You know, those are the moments like when I get scolding. But for asking questions, be it personal or spiritual or anything, you know, he tries his best to answer us. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Indeed, I also believed that fat Prabhupada told to make Guru Maharaj. So I also believe that true, but you opened that it is not true. Thank you so much for sharing that, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Madam.
Hare Krishna.
So many devotees are thanking you, Prabhuji, in the chat. And if anyone else has any questions, they can ask. This is an opportunity to interact with the senior God with us and take more benefit. If no other questions, then after 1 or 2 minutes, we'll close for today.
Hare Can I go ahead?
Yes, Prabhuji, please. Your voice
Yes.
was breaking a bit. You can try again.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. This is Radhapati Madhav Das from Bangalore. Am I clear now?
Yes, Prabhuji, you are clear.
Yes, Prabhuji, can hear you.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I think the experience was very nice. And especially the one which you are mentioned, which I never thought about it, that about connecting to Guru. So you said that if you just take a shelter and then Prabhupada is already connected, I mean, Guru Maharaj is already connected, and then he knows. So only the secretary will only ensure that his papers are right and the right format. The same thing happened with me also. So I have taken initiation in 2010. So I think we should know all the sessions well in advance. I was not so connected. So the 15 years I'm initiated with the Guru Maharaj, and it was like formalities, taking initiation, okay, worshipping our home deities and then doing it. But I still don't know how to get connected to Guru Maharaj. So if you can share some of your thoughts, what are those simple things we can do on a day-to-day basis so we are connected to Guru Maharaj?
Yeah, when we read Shastra, we have like two things. I mean, in connection to Guru, they are like two things, right? One is Bapu and another is Vani. So we have been taught, it has been mentioned that Bani is more important than Bapu, right? So because Bani exists eternally even in physical absence of Guru. In that sense, yes, Bani is important. But then what I feel is like Bapu is also equally powerful. Of course, it doesn't go beyond the physical proximities. For Bapu, the Guru has to be physically present, right? To serve the Guru. Guru has to be physically present, and the disciple also has to be physically present, So Bapu is like very, very important, even though it's like in the sense of eternal thing and then physical existence, it's more powerful than it's less powerful than the Bani. But then when you have Bapu is like you physically go and serve Guru Maharaj, that's where the connection gets built. Many of the devotees, they don't take this opportunity, like they get initiation and they think that that's it. But I would say no, go. We have to be greedy, we have to be taking all opportunities, take out some time and then go close to Guru Maharaj. So even if we go and spend like a week or a month with Guru Maharaj, day in, day out, serving him, that's where the connection gets built up. Just by taking initiation, the connection may not be built up. So the Bapu thing is very important. I would like to share one of my experience with Umapati Maharaj. So when I was in Thailand, we get to serve like lots of sannyasis. They come, as a transit, to many other places. They would come to Bangkok, even though they are like not much devotee association that time in Bangkok. All these like senior devotees would come, and we get opportunity to serve them personally. So that time, Umapati Maharaj was like invited by Narsim Maharaj, and they were coming to our place to take prasadam. So since all the devotees, they were like busy going to their colleges, universities, I was like free. So I was the one who was like cooking. So I cooked, and there was like one sweet, very unique sweet I made that time. And then after eating that sweet, Umapati Maharaj said, such a nice sweet, such a nice sweet. Who made it? Who made it? And then, of course, like I was quiet, and then Narasimha Maharaj pointed out, this boy made it. This boy made it. Narasimha Maharaj pointed out, and so. And then Umapati Maharaj looked at me, and then he said, thank you very much. You really made me happy. I bless you that you go back to Godhead in this lifetime. So when he said that, I felt like really, really good. Of course, like from Bani, I'm not going to see all these like blessings. I mean, I'm not going to get, in a physical way. I can hear in front of me, and I can see in front of me. That Bapu thing is so, so important. So to touch Guru Maharaj, to be with Guru Maharaj, to talk with Guru Maharaj, to hear from him, to express to him, these are the thing which creates connection, strong connection between Guru and disciples. Now, many times, like I've also seen, maybe this is out of immense amount of respect, when the disciples, they go in front of Guru, they start shaking, they get choked up, when they become like nervous, But what I feel, what I've understood from Shastra is that Guru is the most close person in our life. He is more close than my wife, my parents, my brothers, my friends. He is the most close person in my life. So if I'm not able to open up myself with this person, if I'm not able to show myself like as I am to this person, then who else then? In front of whom then I'm supposed to like open up myself? So I think we should take, till Guru Maharaj is physically present in this world, we should take the opportunity to go close to Guru Maharaj physically and start like making connection, and then after that, all these like memories, all this physical moments, that makes like very strong connection. This is very important, right? And then of course, like more than Bapu is Vani, because even in absence of Guru, that is there. So we have to understand the mood of Guru, Guru Mano Vistam, the mood of Guru, what he likes, what he dislikes, what is his priorities, what is not, to understand that and to do accordingly, that is bhakti. Anything else than that is sukriti or punya or something like that, which is of lower class, which is beneficial, of course. Whatever we do for Krishna, whatever we do for ISKCON temple devotees, they are like wonderful. But when it comes in connection with Guru, it can be like Diksha Guru or Siksha Guru, both. These are like very, very powerful thing. And that's where the bhakti happens. And when we do bhakti, when we do like devotional service in connection with Guru, by his his desire, the Guru's desire gets fulfilled. That's when we get special mercy, and that's very quick, fastest way to grow in bhakti. Most of the time we are like more focused in sadhana and so many other things, which are very important, definitely, chanting and all. But I think the reason why we should chant is to make Guru happy. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, because Srila Prabhupada emphasized, because our Guru is like giving us instruction in initiation. That's the reason why we should be chanting, why we should be doing sadhana. But most of the time we are neglecting that bhakti part, the instruction part, and then we are like very intelligent, brainy, we read book by ourselves, and then we start like doing things, many things on our own. And they are like powerful, they are like tools to make us pure, but then that they are like slower process. But when we do the same thing in connection with Guru, for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, then that's bhakti. That's what my experience is. In Bhagavad Gita, I won't tell you exactly where, because if you find out, we might misuse it. There's one place where Srila Prabhupada says that, if we are so dedicated to Guru, if we are trying to make our Guru happy in all possible ways, even we fail to practice our sadhana, the Guru can take us back to Godhead. It's that powerful, you know. It's that powerful. But then many of us, like, we have neglected that. And then we think that by doing sadhana, by doing austerities, by doing hard work, by making fasting on Ekadasi, we'll go back to Godhead. Well, we may do that, but then it might take like many, many lifetimes. But if we want to go back to Godhead in this lifetime, I think Guru. We have to understand Guru's desire and then do accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, thanks for elaborating. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hemanga Prabhu, can you take over? I think you are not online or something.
Yes, Rupesvara Prabhu. So I think two devotees have raised hands. So would you like to take this, or we can conclude in case you are getting late? What do you say, Prabhuji?
Okay, so maybe I can try like
whatever
short
feasible
questions.
To you. Short questions. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe one by one. So Bhakti Jeevan Prabhu can go first, then Anandita Mataji can go next. So please unmute and ask your questions. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dandat Nam. Thank you for such a wonderful, inspirational class for Guru Bhakti. And I connect with that point when you said that Guru Maharaj was always thinking about Srila Prabhupada. You know, recently I wrote an email to Guru Maharaj saying that I mentioned some instructions, shared something with him, and he said that, and I wrote that.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I cannot hear you. Can you speak louder?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, am I audible? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, am I audible now?
इस बार तपाईँ connect गर्न थिएछ है मैले सुन्दै सुनिन Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, so Prabhuji, you can repeat the question again. I couldn't hear your voice much. Yeah, I think. Okay, so Hemang Prabhu, you said like there's another devotee who has raised hand. Maybe.
Prabhuji, Anandita Mataji has raised hand, and I don't know if I think she unmuted.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Pranam, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Hare
yes,
Krishna to all
Mataji, I can hear you.
devotees and Pranam. Yeah, Prabhuji, I was waiting for that devotee's turn. Sorry. Prabhuji, your class was amazing, and it gave me a lot of strength to reconnect, to be connected, more connected to Guru Maharaj. Thank you for sharing the pastimes. Prabhuji, like at the end, you said Vapu Seva is very important, equally important, I mean to say. But for the Matajis like us, we cannot do Vapu Seva. It's not at all possible for us. And it's very rare chance, even for the male devotees, Prabhujis, to serve Guru Maharaj. So for us, what instructions you can give to us? How can we serve with more love and care to Guru Maharaj in the female bodies? Thank you.
So there's a Hindi saying, "Jahan ichha tyahan upay." You know, means like wherever you have desire, strong desire, then you'll find a way. And of course, like I've seen so many Matajis like who are like very close to Guru Maharaj. Of course, like being in female body, you're not allowed to go that close to Guru Maharaj as the male being in male body, right? That is there. But there are like so many services you can do to Guru Maharaj in physical proximities that you can cook, you can wash, you can do so many things, you know, around Guru Maharaj. You can manage so many things for him. You know, and Guru Maharaj, he needs a big team actually. You know, his idea of preaching and so many things, like it's so big actually. You know, so big. I mean, I would say most of us being his disciples, we are so much busy in our own life. You know, as a household, or even we are like serving in ISKCON, we are serving in a different parts, you know. So there are so many ways we can serve Guru Maharaj, you know, in his Bapu way, you know, by directly, indirectly getting participated, you know, into the devotional service which is required for Guru Maharaj, you know. So, and of course, like the first thing is we have to be very eager, very eager. Now, for me, it was like a, you know, as these like foreigners, you know, foreigners, devotees, you know, they came to Nepal. I was thinking, you know, oh my God, they have given their life. They never got married. They never, they were like brahmacharis. Then they became sannyasis, you know, and they have given life. I mean, this like white-skinned guy, they came to Nepal, they started preaching. And we Nepalese, we being like Hindu, you know, even till date, like Nepal is like Hindu majority country. We have 82% of Hindu in this country, right? And then still, we don't know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, we don't know, like, I mean, Radha and Krishna are the ultimate, you know, like deities, ultimate, I mean, God, you know, Supreme Personality of Godhead. We didn't know that, right? And then we don't dedicate our life, even after knowing so much, right? And we still cannot like dedicate our life. We're still like into family, friends, culture and all these kind of things. But then when I see Guru Maharaj and then many others like Mahavishnu Maharaj, you know, Prabhu Vishnu Maharaj, Patri Prabhu, they have given their life. I mean, they have left their home and then given their life and then come to country like Nepal and then started preaching. So I was also thinking, you know, I should also like dedicate my life like them. You know, I should also give up everything and go. But then it's very difficult, you know. It was very difficult, you know. So I still remember I was like, once, I mean, it was like just 2 years after I joined Krishna consciousness, and I was already initiated, you know. And then I went to Patri Prabhu and with my wife, and I said, like, Patri Prabhu, I want to give my life to Krishna, like you people. So Patri Prabhu said, okay, very well, you know, there's Gaur Nitai there, you know, you can go and promise in front of them. So I went in front of Gaur Nitai and I folded my hand, and then I was like about to say that my life is yours, and then so I was thinking, what if Patri Prabhu says, stay back from today? How will my wife go home, you know? At least I should drop her home. I didn't discuss with my parents yet. You know, I have to discuss that. And then so many things started like coming in my head, you know. So Patri Prabhu asks like, so did you promise? I said, no. It seems like I'm not ready. And he says, very difficult. It's very difficult. It really, really requires like so much of like, I mean, understanding, practice and desire and then whatever, you know. So of course, like, again, in 2010, I mean, 6 years later, you know, I was like, of course, every day I was like feeling, oh my God, I couldn't give my life to Krishna. I couldn't give my life to Krishna. And I'm so attached to this friends and family and world and so many things. So later on, after 6 years, of course, I did promise that my life is Krishna's, and tried my best to like serve Guru and then, you know, devotees and then everybody, you know, ISKCON, like that, you know. So what I'm saying is like, we need to desire, you know, like our acharyas, they said that laulyam ekalamulyam, you know, that we have to be greedy for service, greedy for devotee association, you know, greedy to serve Guru Maharaj, you know. So as you become greedy, you know, then things will come up. You know, it's by the arrangement of like Paramatma, by the arrangement of Guru, you know. No, miracles will happen. You will become close with Guru Maharaj. And then what I feel is like, I mean, at the end, if we see around, you know, you look at your family, friends, and money and whatever you have achieved in life, doesn't make sense. You know, I've seen my grandfather passed away, and my father is now getting old, 80 years old, you know. And then when I see their life doesn't make sense. I'm getting 50 years old, and then I see around all those things I went through in my life doesn't make sense anymore. But only bhakti, whatever I did, like as a bhakti devotional service, that's which is going to get counted, you know, at the end. So I mean, I think it's already late. We are already late to serve Guru Maharaj. You know, we have to go and serve him to our fullest. and then get rid of this nonsense world, like nonsense attachment with this stupid world, and then be their instrument in many ways, And Guru Maharaj is always like thinking, he's taxing his brain, he wants his disciples to really, really think about how we can preach Srila Prabhupada's mission around the world, how we can spread, how we can expand. Each time we tell him, this many devotees joined ISKCON, oh, he becomes so happy. Guru Maharaj, new centers coming up, he's so happy. He's so happy. When he hears that like things are like expanding and things are like, growing, he's so happy. And then why he's happy? Because he feels Prabhupada must be very happy. It's Prabhupada's desire that each and every living entity in this world becomes devotee. So at least we should contribute some of our like time, moment, money, whatever resources we have, in their service. That's what I feel very strongly. So there's no question of being Mataji or Prabhuji, It's about being greedy, Just become greedy. Just go, People are like, I'm kind of little different, I don't, like when I desire something, I don't generally follow rules. For example, I want to go and meet Guru Maharaj, and there are always like people who are like stopping for managing Guru Maharaj's things, There's line or there's timing or there's something. I'll always find somewhere sneak in, like back door or something, There is something. There's always like, if you desire, then you will be taken very close to Guru Maharaj. And you must try before it's too late. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for your inspiration.
Please forgive me. I'm not trying to spoil you.
No, Prabhuji, it gave me lots of inspiration, and I have so many desires, but out of one, I have a very desperate desire, and I don't know how it will be fulfilled. How would I be able to serve Guru Maharaj? But by your words, I will start desiring, and
I'll
at
pray for
least.
you, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Thank
Hare
you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you, Amanga
Thank
Prabhu.
you.
I think we should stop here.
Yes.
Because I don't want devotees to go back to bed, go to bed like late, and then tomorrow's Mangalarati will be hampered.
Thank you everyone for joining and asking so many nice questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.